This is exactly what Tani and I love, being off-grid, in the outback, sun setting, dust flying everywhere. We just can't get enough of this.
Magnificent ancient landscape.
And weaving up round a dry creek bed.
Indigenous rock art. It's unbelievable.
Free camp number 2, camping beside this big mountain here with emus walking past. How good is that?
Lookout up here called Razorback. You got to stop here, guys.
Get yourself exploring Bunyeroo and Brachina Gorge.
Right down into the valley was a cracker.
We're going to move on to free camp number 3, further down along the riverbed. We're going to take you on a really unique experience.
Nervous about putting on a hard hat and heading underground.
Just got to the Great Wall of China. Just bring me the drone back.
The Prairie Hotel, it's one of those iconic places.
Guys, let's have some fun with this one. Alrighty, let's go. Hi, we're Pete and Tan. Welcome to Artzone Travel's Off-Grid Ventures. In this episode, we're taking you with us to explore the best free camps in the Flinders Ranges, South Australia. Plus, we show you the must-see and things-to-do spots nearby. If you're into off-road caravanning, four-wheel drive adventures or free camping spots in the rugged Flinders Ranges Outback, this ultimate guide is for you. Along the way, we'll discover 4 completely different scenic campsites, perfect for camping off-grid under the stars, from ancient creek beds to dramatic mountain gorges. And we'll also take you to the best adventures, including the iconic four-wheel drive tracks Brachina and Bunyeroo gorges in the Flinders Ranges National Park, and also where to see Aboriginal rock art engravings at Chambers Gorge. Then we go underground and back to yesteryear on the historic Blinman mine tour. We also step onto the tranquil Heysen Trail walk and head off to explore Aroona Valley's Heysen Ranges and an incredible natural geological formation called the Great Wall of China. Then we head to the western side, showing you the historic Fettlers Cottages ruins from the old Garn Railway days. Then it's off to sunset views near Parachilna with a visit to the legendary Prairie Hotel for some authentic outback hospitality. Whether you're towing a caravan, camping in a tent or exploring by four-wheel drive, these free camping sites in the Flinders Ranges provide the perfect base for your gateway to the South Australian outback adventure. Let's get started on this ultimate Flinders Ranges free camping adventure. Our adventure kicks off northeast of Blinman at Chambers Gorge. This remote creekbed camp offers wide open spaces, towering cliffs and some of the clearest night skies you'll find. Here you can explore incredible Aboriginal rock engravings quietly etched into some stone nearby. We'll show you the best camping spots and walking trail.
So we've just come into Blinman and we've turned right. We're now heading out to the Gammon Ranges.
We've been here before, but the road doesn't look too bad, but I'm just stopped now. I'm just going to drop the tyres down about 10 psi because it's really hard on the, you can feel the jarring effect in the car, which will reflect inside the van as well. So we're going to do that. It's about 3:15 and you think, oh, yeah, heaps of time, but the sun is setting quite quickly.
Well, the road out here so far is like a dream. Like, we are literally just gliding along. It's been freshly graded recently. Some people we met had come up here before us last week, and they said, look, it's great, it's a really sweet ride. We said, oh, would we get a big van? And they go, no trouble at all. So far so good. We'll see how we go when we get up the road a little bit. Got about an hour and a quarter to go, and we should be getting in there somewhere between 5:15 and 5:30. We normally don't travel that late, but we've only got a couple of nights planned here, so we sort of do want to get in there tonight, and so we can wake up not only once but wake up twice and enjoy two beautiful sunrises out here at Chambers Gorge. What we're hoping to do is snag the very same campsite that we had a few years ago. It's magnificent.
This is exactly what Tani and I love, being off-grid, in the outback, sun setting, dust flying everywhere. We just can't get enough of this.
Chambers Gorge lies on Wurtaloona Station pastoral lease. As this is private property, note that camping is permitted in areas at the designated campsites 1, 2, 3 and 4. Driving is permitted along Mount Chambers Creek to the designated area, approximately 7 kilometres east from here. Hilarious. So 1 minute we're flying along on a beautifully graded road. Next minute we are literally at a snail's pace. You cannot go any faster. What are we going, 5 k's an hour? Because it is one really bad corrugation after the other. It's just a shocker. Anyways, Jesus, some nasty branches around here. Good morning everyone. Well, it's great to be back here at Chambers Gorge. It's really beautiful. We were here I think it was about 10 years ago, and we camped in the same spot right here. So it's great that we were able to snag that just for old time's sake. It's a great spot. I mean, look at the views behind us here. It's just absolutely magnificent. It's got about 4 large camping areas. There's lots of space, plenty of flat area here. So this spot is located about 60 kilometres northeast of Blinman, which is a really small town just tucked up right at the north of the Flinders Ranges. This is a free camp, which is awesome. So there's no facilities, so just make sure you come in prepared with plenty of water and all your supplies.
So this morning, one of my rituals is to check the weather on BOM and see what, and Willy weather, and see what we're in for. First time I've ever seen this. The forecast for today is dusty. It's not cloudy, it's not sunny, it's dusty.
So that's why we thought what we'll do is we'll hit up this walk here this morning, which you can actually leave right from this campsite. We're actually at campsite number 4. It's the one right at the end, just before you've got to leave your vehicles. You can't drive any further past this point, so it's all foot from here. So yeah, we're going to go on this walk, and what it'll do is we'll walk right up along the dry creek bed, and then that will take us up to another walk that shoots off to the left where the track narrows in. And yes, we're going to go up and see some beautiful and really significant petroglyphs, some indigenous rock art. The walk, they say, takes about a 3.8 kilometre return walk. So we've reached the turn-off point. Once you reach this beautiful big cliff face here, then you turn left and you go up this little track, and I can see some signage up there, so I think I remember from last time it explains a little bit about the petroglyphs. This is the Chambers Gorge Aboriginal engraving site. Aboriginal rock engravings are found throughout South Australia. They were produced by repeatedly hitting the surface of the rock with a sharp object to produce a series of interconnecting pits, or by rubbing the rock surface with a sharp object to produce a groove. Common motives in South Australia include geometric circles, linear designs and animal tracks. Animal and human-like figures can accompany these designs.
You know, I just sit here quietly and try to reflect what would have been here hundreds of years ago. And you can tell it's a natural amphitheatre. You can tell that there would have been a fireplace in the middle, and that the people would have sat round that fire and did ceremony and told stories. And at some point, they've done these engravings. I'm not sure how old they are, how long they've been here, how they've been added to, but it is of significant, cultural importance to Australians. And just to sit here and watch it and look at it, it sort of makes you feel a little bit special, like reflective of the times that have passed and the deep, history that we have within our country even before the white people came. There was quite a civilised race of people here with marks to tell others what was here and how to travel through the country.
Hey guys, so we hope you enjoyed that beautiful walk with us this morning. We had to tuck away in the van at the middle of the day. There were that many flies, to be honest. It was driving us crazy. So we've just jumped out tonight. They seem to have settled down a bit more, thank goodness. Pete's just chucked the fire on over here, so we've got that blazing away, and we're about to enjoy just a really nice sunset looking over to the Chambers. I don't know, what do they call that? Chambers Mountain?
Yeah, I think let's call it Chambers Mountain.
Yeah, let's call it Chambers Mountain.
It is Chambers Mountain.
Anyway, guys, we just thought we'd jump on here and say, look, this is the beginning of this episode. Chambers Gorge right here is camp number 1 of a series of free camps that we're going to show you around the top end of the Flinders. So we hope we'll definitely be doing 3 free camps, maybe 4. We'll see how we go.
There's free camps everywhere in Australia, and you just got to go looking for them. But some of the free camps we've been to have been the best campsites we've ever been to.
Morning everyone. Well, we're packing up this morning. We're going to leave Chambers Gorge and we're going to head into campsite number 2 for our free camps episode, and it's called Parachilna 3. So right across the top of the Flinders Ranges there's a road that follows from Blinman all the way through the Parachilna Gorge, and then it takes you out to where the Prairie Hotel is, and all along that run, all alongside the riverbeds and under the gum trees, there's some magnificent free camping spots. So we're going to go and have a little explore in the next couple of weeks all along there, and show you a couple of great free camps along the way. Okay, so the flies are starting to come, as you can see. It's only 8:30 in the morning, so we're going to hit the road nice and early and get a couple of supplies in Blinman, and then head further to Parachilna 3. All right, see you up there.
So we've just done the turn-off and we're driving on the Flinders Ranges way. This is a pretty good road, however it is blowing a gale. There has been a weather alert all through South Australia and the wind is just pushing the van around. It's like I'm just being blown. I did some footage on the drone just before then, and I couldn't even get my drone back. It was that strong pushing back to where we'd parked up that it actually made an emergency landing and I had to walk back and get it. So yeah, it's dusty, it's windy, and we're on our way into Blinman to have ourselves a coffee, and we'll check out Blinman and let you know what it's like. pulled up at the dump point. Now this has only just been installed in Blinman, so it's fairly new. It's just before Blinman, and I believe you can get water here soon, so we're going to see whether it's turned on or not, because there's literally nowhere up here where you can get water to fill your tanks. But the Shire must be putting it together here, which for the travellers, which is great.
Next, we head west along Parachilna Gorge to campsite number 3, nestled beneath a dramatic mountainside by a beautiful dry riverbed. This spot is perfect for four-wheel drive enthusiasts close to the famous Brachina and Bunyeroo Gorge tracks. We'll also take you to the Great Wall of China Ridge and then head underground at Blinman Mine to discover the rich mining history of the area.
Let's go.
Brachina Gorge provides a pathway through a rock sequence which reveals its geological history, a corridor through time. Rocks exposed along the gorge are between 500 and 650 million years old and were deposited as sediments in an elongate depression during which the sea level rose and fell many times. Sediments were transported by rivers and at times by glaciers, and deposited on the sea floor. Rock strata along the gorge provide one of the most complete sedimentary records in the world for this period of time. Good morning everyone. What a magnificent drive that was today. So what we've done is we're going on a whole day trip to explore more of the Central Flinders Ranges. We're still based at Parachilna Campsite number 3 in Appealinna. So what we've done is we've come out through the Parachilna Gorge, out to the Prairie Hotel, turned left, and we've travelled south along the main road, the Bitumen Road, and then not far along there you turn in towards the Flinders Ranges again, and that cutting takes us right into the heart of Brachina Gorge. So we're going to be doing a few other things today.
Yeah, so as we travel through Brachina Gorge, we're going to head up to Razorback Lookout. So this is the famous lookout that you probably see on all the tourist brochures, with car driving through up to the lookout. And then we're going to tootle down to Appealinna Pound. So we're going to get some supplies there, we're going to get some water there, and then we'll continue on.
Yeah, so that's probably going to take us up to just past lunchtime. Then this afternoon, what we're going to do is head back to camp. We're going to head north again, but on the eastern side of the Flinders Ranges. And some of it's bitumen, or some of it?
Some of it's bitumen,
yeah.
Some of it's dirt, yeah.
Some of it's dirt. And so this afternoon, what that's going to take us to is some more old ruins, and then there's this beautiful formation called the Great Wall of China. And you'll get to see why when we take you up there this afternoon.
Yep, so it's a big day, we're excited. It's quite chilly here, Tan's rugged up, I'm not, so I'm going to get back in the car.
Alrighty, let's hit this beautiful gorge.
And there's nobody around, again, but
I
us.
know, where is everyone?
They all like sleeping in, we like getting up early.
Gee, I mean, last time we came through this gorge many years ago, they didn't have that signage. It is really impressive. Looks fairly new. So they've got these fantastic signs with some very clear information about each different kind of landscape and rock formation. It just makes this drive way more interesting and comprehensive. Wow, we are so enjoying this drive through this magnificent ancient landscape this morning. I think the time to come through is in the morning. You get that warm golden light just hitting every single thing there is in sight. Like, these mountains are just glowing. And we can't believe, like, every corner you turn, there's this whole beautiful, stately grandeur. It's unbelievable.
So going along this gorge, you zigzag across the creek, and you just look down and you can see the carnage that the water has when it's flooded through here. The trees are pushed over, big ancient trees are pushed over, and then you get all the flotsam and all the debris pushed up against the trunks of these trees, and you just go, Wow, there's some water, there's some force that comes through. I wouldn't want to be here, that's for sure, when it floods.
So we've just passed a large embankment there. That's just where all this rockfall has come down. There's lots of boulders, and in that particular spot is the very unique home to the little yellow-footed wallaby. We stopped and we tried to spot some, but I think they would be very well camouflaged there amongst those rocks. Okay, so next up we are turning onto the Bunyeroo drive. So there's supposed to be lots of beautiful scenic beauty, and there's an awesome lookout up here called Razorback. So let's head up there. Okay, so we've just turned into Bunyeroo Gorge and we're driving through another creek bed, and it's like we're driving through a beautiful arbour of the most gorgeous gums. Absolutely stunning. Okay, so we've just come through the Bunyeroo Valley and we've ended up on top of this hill here at the Bunyeroo Lookout. You've got to stop here, guys. How good is it?
You know, no one ever talks about it. They always talk about Razorback, and you're going to see that in a minute too. But this one is a cracker. It's like almost looking right down into the valley. It's just behind us here, and then you can see up into the gorges. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a special one. If you're coming through, make sure you stop. There's a picnic table there.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, you've got a clear view up here from this lookout. I mean, the sight of looking at the top of the ridgeline of the northern end of this Wilpena Pound is just absolutely magnificent. Okay, so I've spotted Razorback Lookout. Let's check it out. All right, so we're going to move on now. So we're heading down to Wilpena Pound. We've got to pick up some supplies down there. They've got a fairly good little IGA. Yeah, we're going to take a little lunch break down there and move on to the afternoon. See you down there. Okay, so we were really happy with our little shop at the IGA. We got most things that we needed. So they've got coffee and cakes and ice creams and meat pies and sausage rolls, things like that. They've got a good selection of groceries, from fruit and veg through to, you know, a small selection of meats, dry goods, toiletries, all that kind of thing. And they do have a small selection of alcohol there too, wine and port and, you know, some spirits, beer, just a small selection there. That was handy. So now we're heading back north again towards our campsite, which is up in Parachilna Gorge. And our first port of call this afternoon is the Appealinna Homestead Ruins. That's just coming up now. And then after that, the Great Wall of China. So after that, we'll head back to camp and call it a day, I think. It's been absolutely amazing.
In 1850, a guy called Joseph Wills came here, and he was an English pastoralist, and he decided to take up the lease on the south side of this area. He started to build the homestead, which is where I am now, and the stockyards. As soon as he had that all finished, some copper miners turned up and made camp on the north side of the creek. And water is important to us today, and to them, back in those days, it was exactly the same and pretty well more important, really. So for 13 long years, these guys argued over the lease and the water that was here. Incredible, wasn't it? Okay, so we've just got to the Great Wall of China, and I can't wait to get that drone up, can you? Oh, look, you know, I'm just looking up there and I'm just looking at that ridge line and I'm thinking, how close, here's the bet, guys, how close can I fly that drone without crashing it? Just bring me the drone back, that's all we want. And get some great footage. You normally say just the footage, you don't care how I get it. All right, guys, let's have some fun with this one.
Today we're going to take you on a really unique underground experience into the heart of a really old historic copper mine. We've booked in on a guided tour and they've got apparently some great innovative sound and lighting, and we're going to be taken back, way back into the lives of the miners and the old historic mining town way back in the second half of the 19th century. So they run these tours from the end of April until November, and they run hourly of the hours between 10 o'clock till 3 p.m. So let's go and explore this little slice of Flinders Ranges history. I've got to say, I'm a bit nervous about putting on a hard hat and heading underground. But hey, you know what? There is a first time for everything, right? Who's happy?
I'm happy. I've waited 2 weeks to get this delivered, so this afternoon I'm having a good strong coffee.
And check out what it says here. Love and happiness inside.
Winner.
Folks, when you look above this barrow, you will see two forms of copper they mined on these levels. The green is called malachite. The dark brown is called cooperite. They run in veins they found in clumps. They also come in very rich, large, concentrated bodies of ore. Hence how you end up with stopes. Watch your step. So the Blinman Progress Association set about shoring it up, and they use traditional methods. When you look at the joinery in here, there are no bolts, screws, nails or anything else. They're all mortise and tenon joints. They also use one of the most highly sought after timbers for this type of work at that time, and that is Canadian Oregon. Structurally one of the strongest timbers out there. Well, just watch your head through here, it can get a little lower in places. Guys, this mine averaged anywhere between 4 and 10% over that period. It was a very wealthy mine. As far as the miners are concerned though, guys, for the very little they were paid, they never made any real riches. They just did all the work. They were actually paid via a very small percentage of copper of what that family pulled out of this mine. Then they had to go and divide it up amongst themselves, so a bit of a rough deal. Now folks, northern Flinders, Lake Frome, the outcrop sites out the other side, boast some of the oldest fossil beds in the world. However, you are now standing in rock that's older than 630 million years. There were very few, if any, forms of life here then, plant or animal. You can simply either find or create a notch in a rock, poke the wire into it and you had your candle up next to you while you're chipping away. So candle spiders, guys.
So good. Love it. How good was that?
That was just amazing. High five. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, mate.
Absolutely. No worries, guys. Absolute pleasure.
I was so surprised how professionally it was run. I mean, Mike, who was our guide, was so knowledgeable, and when you picked his brains, he had so much more to offer about other things in the area. The tour itself, they've done such a great job when you walk through all those.
Yeah, it definitely exceeded our expectations. Good morning everyone. Well, that's been another great free camp. Free camp number 2 for us, and it's been awesome actually camping beside this giant big cliff face, this big mountain here, just enjoying all of the comings and goings with emus walking past, goats, mountain goats everywhere. What's been really interesting is every now and then, mostly at night you hear it, but it's this funny sound, quite an eerie sound, where you hear the rock slides coming down the mountain there, and I think they're triggered by these little mountain goats. And I can't believe how high these little guys climb up the sides of these mountains. I don't know how they do it. Anyway, that's been quite an interesting thing to watch. Anyway, today we're going to move on to free camp number 3, and we've got a couple of ideas. We sort of want to base ourselves somewhere around the Heysen Trail access path. If we can't get, there's a couple of sites there just at the entry. If we can't get those, we'll move further down along the riverbed there. There are plenty of free camps in the most magnificent spots all the way through the Parachilna Gorge. Anyway, we'll let you know what happens today. So yeah, it's been great staying here. It's been fantastic exploring the Blinman mine and all the other areas that are accessible from here down through central Flinders Ranges. The gorges were magnificent. Just seriously guys, if you're in the Flinders, get yourself up there to Bunyeroo and Brachina Gorge, absolutely beautiful. All right guys, let's go find this next free camp. Is this, Pete?
So good, this is just amazing. We've never got this spot before because every time we've come through there's been somebody here, so to come around the corner and find that we've got probably the park for the Heysen Trail, that's the head there where it starts.
Yeah, like this is ideal. We were hoping to camp up right down by one of these dry riverbeds, and we've got a great spot.
Yeah, I love walking along these riverbeds. But yeah, there's birds down there, there's emus, there's wallabies, there's, look, you know, just behind me,
Mountain
there's
goats.
there's goats, and there's lots of goats.
Yeah.
But
Barely see the sky now, we're safe under the trees. You tell me about your secrets and I'm falling madly. You catch me right, I'll be alright. It's all that matters really.
From here, we head off to explore Aroona Valley, a place made famous by the respected artist Hans Heysen.
So Hans Heysen was born in 1877. He was a pioneering German-born Australian artist, renowned for his evocative depictions of the Australian landscape. In 1926, seeking new inspiration following personal loss, Heysen ventured into the Flinders Ranges, a rugged region over 500 kilometres north of Adelaide. Captivated by the area's stark beauty, he embarked on numerous trips between 1927 and 1949, producing a prolific body of work that he considered amongst his finest. Heysen's Flinders Ranges paintings are celebrated for their portrayal of the region's ancient mountain ranges and expansive sunlit vistas. He was particularly drawn to the interplay of light and shadow on the arid terrain. The Flinders Ranges also left a lasting legacy on Heysen's life and work. The Heysen Range, Heysen Hill and Heysen Trail are named in his honour, acknowledging his profound impact on the region's artistic and cultural heritage.
one of those places that are pilgrimage for watercolourists. Now, this is a location of a lot of paintings done by Hans Heysen in the early part of the 20th century. So to be here and being in the presence where he was is very special to me, and you can look around and you can actually see some of the places he painted if you go to the National Gallery of Australia. So I'll show you around.
Heysen became fascinated with Australia's semi-arid landscape. From 1926, he made many trips to the Flinders Ranges. Using Pumper's Hut as his base, Heysen captured the fleeting light of these landscapes and produced many of the masterpieces for which he is now famous. His painting entitled The Three Sisters of Aroona was developed from studies painted here. It's so inspiring coming to places like this.
Yeah, we're walking in the footsteps of Hans Heysen, who for me, he's probably the greatest watercolourist that Australia's ever had. You know, this afternoon we're having a chat and we're thinking, I'm feeling pretty inspired that we'll go back to camp. We'll do a little bit of art in the creek today.
Okay, looking forward to it. So what's really good about this little walk that we're going to do this afternoon is that we can walk straight from our campsite here behind us, and right up in front of us here, about 100 metres up, is the access to the walking trail. How good is that? I mean, I don't know about anyone else that's been to Flinders, but I have not seen one part of it that is not appealing to the eye. I just wanted to show you this beautiful tree here, mainly because its resilience. It is just absolutely amazing. Check out the root system on this beautiful river gum. Have a look at this. G'day everyone. Well, we're packing up and we're heading out of the Heysen Trail campsite. Boy, the temperatures dropped this morning.
It has massively dropped. We've got our puffer jackets out. It is very cool here today.
We're heading to free camp number 4 for this episode. So what we're going to do is we're finally farewelling the gorge and we're going to head west on the Parachilna Gorge road. That'll take us out to meet the Outback highway. At that point, we're going to start heading north and start our travels heading up into Central Australia. A little bit more about that later. But the free camp we're staying at tonight is only a 10-minute drive after we turn north. And later on, we're going to show you why we picked this free camp.
So it's called the Parachilna Fettlers Cottages. It's an historical site. Let's go.
Alrighty, see you out there.
Should I stay here?
Our final stop is on the western edge of the ranges, beside the historic Fettlers Cottages ruins along the old Garn railway line. This quiet camp offers one of the best sunset spots in the Flinders, and just 10 minutes away is the iconic Prairie Hotel, perfect for a well-earned cold beer and some authentic Outback hospitality. This makes a perfect stopover on your Flinders adventure.
So here we are, we're at the ruins of the old Fettlers cottages. Now, these were built to house the workers to maintain the old Garn railway. The South Australian government built these in the late 19th and 20th centuries. These cottages are on the South Australian Heritage Register, and along this railway line there are many others that are registered as part of the history of the old Garn railway line that came through here. So building the railway line was a monumental task, as the engineers had to deal with the outback terrain. So the line was strategically placed so that it could have reliable water supply for the steam trains. So the scarcity of the water in the region ultimately led to the decline in the railway line. So west of here, towards that direction, they built a new railway, the new Garn, And in 1980, the first train left Adelaide north towards Darwin.
Alrighty everyone, this is the end of the line.
For the episode, that is.
Thanks for joining us everyone. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of free camping across the top part of the Flinders Ranges. This takes us to the next part of our journey where we are going to see you up the track.
The Oodnadatta track, that is.
Alrighty, let's go.
Okay.
Travelling through the Flinders Ranges, it's impossible not to feel the weight of time etched into the land. Soaring ridgelines, twisted gums, and ochre-streaked gorges that have stood for hundreds of millions of years. There's a strong yet quiet stillness here, a reminder that we're just passing through. These ancient landscapes have witnessed the rise and fall of oceans, the footsteps of the Onyamadhna people, and the shifting stories of those who came after. As travellers, we're just momentary visitors in a place far older than we can truly grasp, and that's what makes it so humbling and unforgettable. Thanks for watching Artzone Travels Off-Grid Ventures Australia. This wraps up our journey through the best free camping in the Flinders Ranges. We hope this guide helps you plan your own off-grid outback escape through South Australia's rugged heartland. If you found this episode helpful or inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. It really does support our channel. And if you've camped in the Flinders Ranges or have a favourite spot that we missed, drop us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining us on another Artzone Travels off-grid venture. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious and keep exploring.